Ah, war and romance, the ultimate recipe for disaster. Imagine you're trying to have a normal relationship, but there's a little thing called World War I getting in the way. No dinner dates without dodging bullets, no strolls in the park unless you're okay with wading through mud. It's like every day is the worst possible date ever. Let me introduce you to our hero, Lieutenant Frederic Henry. Not your average soldier, nope. He's an American, but instead of the stars and stripes, he's chilling with the Italians as an ambulance driver. What a gig, right? It's like Uber, but instead of drunk passengers, you get soldiers with missing limbs. And where does our boy Henry find love? At the battlefield, of course, because nothing says romantic like blood, mud, and trench foot. And then there's Catherine Barkley, sweet, British, and let's just say she's a little too into Henry from the get-go. She's a nurse, and at first Henry's like, sure, I'll flirt, but nothing serious. But soon he realizes Catherine is not playing. Her idea of flirting, offering to be all his, sounds intense, right? But hey, Henry, our charming ambulance driver, falls hard, really hard. And before you know it, these two are in a full-blown wartime romance, navigating love while dodging explosions. Fast forward to the big escape. Things are going south for the Italian army. So Henry, who's decided to call it quits on the whole war thing, takes off with Catherine. And how do they escape? By rowing across a river? Yep, not a plane or a train, a boat, through a storm no less. Water is a big deal in this story, kind of like how it's a big deal when your Uber ride crosses actual international borders. And once they get to Switzerland, it's all sunshine and roses, for a while. But alas, this is Hemingway, folks. You're not getting a happy ending. In the end, Catherine dies during childbirth and Henry is left alone standing in the rain. Because why not end with a tragic downpour to match his tears? Okay, now that I've lured you in with that wild plot, here's the reveal. A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway. First published in 1929, this little gem is a mix of war, love, and everything in between. It's considered a classic, not just because of the gripping story, but because of the way Hemingway writes. His prose? Simple, short, to the point. Like he's writing the world's most depressing telegram. What makes this book so unforgettable is the yin-yang of it all. War and love, life and death, calm and chaos. Hemingway doesn't just write about Henry and Catherine's love. He throws them into the middle of a war and lets us watch them struggle to survive it. And it's not just about surviving bullets. It's about surviving each other. The entire relationship feels fragile, like it could break at any moment. And of course, let's not forget about Papa Hemingway himself. Ernest Hemingway was known for his tough guy image. He loved hunting, bullfighting, and living life on the edge. But beneath all that bravado, a guy who knew how to write about the deepest human emotions. His language is sparse, but somehow hits you right in the gut. You don't read Hemingway for flowery descriptions. You read him for the emotional punches.
No, not now, no.
And boy, does A Farewell to Arms deliver.
No.
Now, some of you may be thinking, wait a minute, what about Catherine? Why does she seem so dependent on Henry? Well, remember, this book was written in 1929. Catherine's character can feel a bit one-dimensional if you're reading it from a modern perspective. She's portrayed as being completely devoted to Henry, and while that makes their love story feel intense, it also makes her seem less developed. Some readers feel like she's more of an idea than a fully fleshed out character, but that's part of the era the book was written in. You've got to take it as a snapshot of the time. So, would I recommend this book? Absolutely. But read it with the understanding that it's a product of its time. If you're a fan of war stories, romance with tragic endings, and the kind of writing that packs a punch with just a few words, then Hemingway's A Farewell to Arms is a must-read. Just keep some tissues handy. This one's gonna hurt. That's all for today, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Have you read A Farewell to Arms? What did you think? And would you row across a river for love? Or are you more of a find a bridge kind of person? Let me know.